Well, another one of the 102 candidates for mayor is gaining some traction among voters with a variety of conservative policy announcements in the campaign so far. Former Toronto Sun columnist Anthony Furey has seen increased support in recent polls in what is already a very crowded race.
These are being distributed not just in injection sites, but family shelter system all across Toronto. I want to be clear on something. As a candidate for mayor of Toronto, this is not going to continue under my watch. This is ridiculous.
This is also an example of what Anthony Furey brings to the table as a candidate for the mayor of Toronto, a City Hall outsider with a no-nonsense right-wing approach to the problems that persist in the city. With that, he's receiving some attention. The latest poll from Forum Research has him in a tie for fourth place, with 9% support from decided or leaning voters. Main Street Research, meanwhile, also shows him with 9% support and in fifth place among the top-tier candidates.
It feels great, and I mean, what's the strategy? The strategy is just common sense policies, hard work, getting out and meeting all the amazing people of all walks of life in this city, corner to corner. I'm going to Etobicoke, I'm going to Scarborough, I'm an East End guy myself.
To this point, Furey has pledged to halt any new safe injection sites, remove tent encampments, hire 500 police officers, and boost their visibility on streets. The 39-year-old wants to stop new bike lanes, reopen King Street to through traffic, and continue with plans to rebuild the Gardner East. All points that could be mistaken for some other candidates, namely Mark Saunders and Brad Bradford, who hopes more people will be paying attention as Election Day draws near.
The only poll that matters, of course, is on June 26th. But, I recognize that, again, people are living busy lives. We're all consumed in this election. But, again, people are fighting to put food on the table. They are rushing around to pick their kids up after school.
Bradford has made a point of targeting both Olivia Chow and Mark Saunders with his messaging, warning one will raise taxes while the other will be what he says the Premier's rubber stamp at City Hall. Furey has also chosen to take on the frontrunner in the race with the hope of gaining even more ground before June 26th.
I know Olivia Chow right out of the gate said she's going to tear down the Gardner. I mean, respectfully, I just think that's like a bonkers thing to talk about when we have so much congestion. I'm not going to be tearing down the Gardner. I have said I'm not bringing in entirely new taxes.
Note that there are still plenty of debates, panel discussions, and candidates meetings throughout the city over the next few weeks. And now questions are being raised about whether hosts should reconsider who is invited to participate. Now, the issue of getting around the city was a common theme on the campaign trail today, starting with Mitzi Hunter, who is promising to get subway trains rolling earlier in the morning.
Our climate benefits every time someone leaves their car at home. Opening the subways earlier is practical, it's doable, and it helps to get Toronto moving again.
Hunter's plan would see subways running at 5:30 a.m. instead of 6 to help early shift workers out of their cars and onto public transit. Getting Toronto moving was also on the mind of Brad Bradford today, who's taking aim at what he calls bad drivers.
As your mayor, I will expand the automatic speed enforcement camera programs and deploy 200 new speed cameras across the city. All the new revenue generated from these speeding tickets will be dedicated to the city's road repair budget.
The city already makes more than $3 million per month off of automated speed tickets. Bradford is aiming to boost that number with extra cameras and by ensuring that all violations are processed and paid. Meanwhile, Olivia Chow was dodging accusations once again that she would significantly hike property taxes to pay for city services.
I had an opponent that said it would be 36%. Another opponent said 20%. Now I'm hearing it's 10%. I think they're just mixing up the numbers, and they're wrong.
Chow has said repeatedly that she is planning on a modest increase to property taxes if elected. She's also planning to pressure the federal and provincial governments for increased funding.